Tea is second most consumed beverage after the water. Indian tea has found a huge favor in the global markets. Farmers will have to attune to the climate change and adapt the kind of practices that are supposed to be adopted. Today, there are consumers who would say that yes, I am willing to pay little extra for a better quality. If we start making quality, believe you me, we can do far better.
To Indus Food Elite. I am Richa Jain Kalra. Indian mornings are unimaginable without the tea. And today I have a veteran from the tea industry, Mr. Desai, who is the Executive Director of the Bakri Tea Group, which is a 134-year-old group, and he's the fourth generation entrepreneur from the group to be with us here. Thank you so much, Mr. Desai, for sharing your time with us. And you're also the chairman of the industry body, which is looking after the tea growers' interests. So, Mr. Desai, I want to start by asking you, has the Indian tea found its due share in the global market, or it is yet to do so?
First of all, thank you for inviting me to the Indus Food Elite. As I'm speaking with you, we are 134 years young company, wanting to serve the length and breadth of the society. And why I'm saying this, because tea is second most consumed beverage after the water. So we don't want to not only serve the age-old popular product, which is black tea consumed in milk and or water across the globe, but also in various formats that are there. So basically, answering your question, yes, Indian tea has found a huge favor in the global markets. The ideology is that you have to pitch your product in that fashion, wherein the consumer finds, has got a space in his mind, and that's where you find the market. Now, when I'm saying space in the mind means all of them want quality produce. They want consistency in the product, and they want the consistency of the quality product throughout the year. This is a very big thing, very big statement that I'm making. So hence, Indian tea, yes, to answer your question, it has found a huge favor. And will continue to do so because of the quality produce that we can supply to the world tea connoisseurs.
With a lot of import of tea happening in India, how do you see it affecting the Indian manufacturers, especially the small tea growers, small tea estates?
Indian law is very clear. You cannot import tea for internal consumption at a zero duty. You have to pay a handsome amount of duty to use Indian tea in domestic markets.
That is to safeguard the Indian growers.
Exactly, to safeguard the Indian producers. You're so right. So therefore, the automatic one level of protection is already been supplied by the Indian government. Recently, Tea Board has put their foot down and said that we will also now start checking the quality of produce that you are importing as per the Indian food safety standards. So which is a very good thing to happen. We are very keen to market and sell and distribute quality produce, and which is compliant. So having said that, we also would enthuse our suppliers, our small tea growers, our bottling factories, our tea estate manufacturers and producers to supply us quality produce. It is easier said than done because of the climatic changes that are happening. This is a phenomena throughout the globe. It is nothing special that I am talking about for India. And
you're talking about the climate change impact.
Exactly, the climate change that is happening for all the produce, including grains, tea, fruits, vegetables, everything. So farmers have to leave their age-old practice of, example's sake, in the month of May, so much rain will come and so much of growth promoters I will apply, or so much of herbicides I will apply. No, that's not the situation. Today in the climate change, when as per the age-old practice, if it is supposed to rain, there are times when you have droughty conditions. There are times where you supposed to have a cloudy weather, you get a very sunny weather. This all affects the growth and the produce, which ultimately affects the quantity and quality both. Now for that, the farmers will have to attune to the climate change and adapt the kind of practices that are supposed to be adopted for that climate change, and use those kind of pesticides and weedicides. So my whole contention is, if you give a quality produce, today there are consumers who would say that yes, I am willing to pay little extra for a better quality, for a quality which satisfies my palate, and not only in the morning. They would love to have a nice cup of tea throughout the day. It could be 8 cups also per day. So think about the consumption. If we have the right kind of produce, we could easily surpass 1.2 kgs per capita consumption, which is a huge one. Having said that, if we have the right kind of agro practices, then I have got no doubts in my mind that whatever quantity we produce, let's say even 1400 or 1500 million kgs, if it is a quality produce today, which according to me somewhere in the region of 250 to 300 million kilograms, if we start producing quality
out of 1300,
yes. So if we start, I can rest assured that everything will be sold off as soon as it is produced. Because today the quality, the right kind of quality is not there, therefore the situation is
I think that's a big statement, that the quality that should be there in Indian tea is missing on a large scale. And what can we do to enable that? What do you think are the gaps to address?
So mainly, as I told you, it is the right kind of agricultural practices that the farmers and the producers need to adapt, wherein you need to have certain kind of practices of plucking standards, hand plucking, machine plucking is also fine, but it has to be at a certain tenure that this happens, right kind of other practices which are followed in the factory, right kind of interventions as far as pesticides and weedicides are concerned. So all put together, if you see, if we improve on the agricultural practices, as I keep on harping on, because climate change is in nobody's hands. Even if I am wanting to produce quality at whatever cost, then also I won't be able to, because climate change is a huge phenomenon. I will have to adapt to it so that I make quality as a farmer.
I want to also talk about export of Indian tea, because your company is exporting to more than 60 countries.
So true.
Yes. So what is the share of Indian tea in the global tea market, and what factors are contributing to its growth, or if it's not growing, what is it?
We as Wagh Bakri have only one statement to make for the growth of our company. Every year we need to grow on quantity. Now, that might range from 10%, it might go up to 35%, 40%, but we have to grow in quantity. And that is not at the cost of other issues that keep on encompassing us, and so on and so forth. So we make sure that our growth is there. Now, how do we do that? We do that by supplying quality. Your question is that how much are we Indian exports compared to the world consumption? We are very small, we are very minuscule. We will be hitting 250 million kgs in exports as far as Indian tea exports is concerned to the world.
Okay.
If we start making quality, and quality, believe you me, we can do far better. As I told you in the beginning, if we make quality, our demand will be much higher than the supply. So where's the question of then the tea left for exports? So the point is that if you supply quality, people will run after you. But if you supply quantity, there are dime a dozen. In the global phenomena, one more competition that is a sort of a barrier for brand packages like us is that the listing fees in various outlets like the Costco's and the Walmarts of the world are so high that the people who are there in the business for long term, they have got an advantage over us. And the brand building exercise is also very, very costly. where we do not
In
get
the
any
international
support.
market.
Absolutely. So you have to compete with the who's who of the international brand who's established since many years. To give you an example, Sri Lankan government gave a lot of help to the exporters of Sri Lanka on brand building exercise. So if something like that can happen for the Indian exporters, where they are exporting the brands and making sure the Indian teas are well established and well perceived, that will be a very big help to us.
How do you see platforms like Indus Food promoting the tea trade, especially in the international market?
Wagh, Bakri and myself have been associated with India since the inception. I have been the part of the committee also in the first year, and we have been participating. And I think that year on year we are getting good response. Indian countries, brand and other brands are getting advantage out of this. And I feel it's a good initiative that Indian government has taken. And now I think we can take the next steps going forward. So yes, thank you very much, Indus, for helping us out. The great help to the Indian companies.
Thank you so much for being on the show and to know your thoughts on taking the Indian tea industry forward and also addressing the challenges and talking openly about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for inviting me once again. Thank you, Richard.